Okay, so you're prepping for an interview.
Oh,
An
yeah.
import-export manager position
Big one.
in the pharmaceutical industry.
Huge.
Talk about high stakes.
Yeah,
You're dealing with life-saving medications here.
absolutely.
We're going to dive deep into some common interview questions
Love it.
and give you the insider strategies to really nail your answers.
That's what we need.
We'll be using RoleCatcher's career and interview guides as our roadmap.
Awesome.
And let me tell you, these resources are gold mines of insider tips.
I believe it.
But before we even step into the interview room,
Okay.
we need to talk about something that can make or break your chances.
What's that?
Getting past the initial screening process?
Ah.
I'm talking about AI.
Oh, yeah. AI is becoming more and more common in recruitment.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are using it to filter applications,
Uh-huh.
scanning for specific keywords
Yeah.
related to the skills and experience
Right.
outlined in the job description.
So how do we make sure our application doesn't get lost in the digital abyss?
This is where RoleCatcher's AI comes in. It's like
Oh.
having a secret weapon to decode the algorithm.
Right.
So their platform analyzes job descriptions, and it helps you tailor your CV,
Okay.
highlighting the exact skills that the employer is seeking.
That's a huge relief.
Yeah,
Knowing how to leverage AI to your advantage
right?
is essential in today's job market.
For sure.
Okay, let's say you've made it past the AI gatekeeper
Okay.
and landed an interview.
All right.
What's the first question they're likely to throw your way?
Probably what inspired you to pursue a career in import-export management in the pharmaceutical industry?
Yeah.
It's a seemingly simple question,
Right.
but it's your chance to make a strong first impression.
It's all about showcasing your passion, right?
Yeah.
But how do we go beyond generic answers and really stand out?
I think instead of just saying,
Yeah.
you're interested in logistics or international trade,
Yeah.
connect your answer to the specific impact of this role in the pharmaceutical industry.
Right.
Did a personal experience spark your interest? Maybe a volunteer trip abroad exposed you to global health disparities?
Oh, yeah.
Or a family member working in the industry inspired you?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah,
A personal anecdote can make your answer more memorable
for sure.
and show them that you're not just here for any job.
Right.
You're genuinely passionate about this field.
Right. And remember, this is also an opportunity to subtly highlight relevant skills. So if you took a course on international trade law,
Yeah.
mention how it sparked your interest in the complexities of pharmaceutical regulations.
Okay, so we've nailed the why this industry question.
All right.
What comes next?
They're going to want to know that you can handle the constantly evolving regulatory landscape of pharmaceutical import-export.
Right.
Expect a question like, how do you stay up to date with changing regulations and laws
Okay.
related to import-export of pharmaceutical goods?
The dreaded compliance question.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone knows it's important,
Uh-huh.
but how do we demonstrate that we're truly on top of it?
This is where you showcase your proactive approach. Saying you'll read the regulations isn't enough.
Right.
Mention specific industry newsletters you subscribe to, organizations you follow, even online forums where professionals exchange knowledge.
Oh, yeah.
Did you attend a recent webinar on new import regulations for a specific type of medication?
Right.
Mention it.
So it's all about showing them that you're not just passively aware of regulations.
Yeah.
You're actively seeking out information and staying ahead of the curve.
Absolutely. And when you mention specific resources,
Okay.
briefly explain what they are and why they're relevant to your work.
Okay.
For example, you could say, I regularly read the International Pharmaceutical Logistics Association's newsletter to stay informed about changes in cold chain logistics and transportation regulations.
Okay, now for a question that can really make or break an interview.
Ooh.
What are some of the biggest challenges you have faced in your role as an import-export manager in the pharmaceutical industry?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone has faced challenges, but how do we frame them in a way that highlights our strengths?
The key here is to choose a challenge specific to the pharmaceutical industry
Right.
and showcase your problem-solving skills. Don't just describe the problem.
Yeah.
Focus on the solution.
Okay.
Did a shipment of temperature-sensitive vaccines get delayed
Oh.
due to a sudden change in customs regulations?
That sounds like a nightmare scenario.
Yeah.
What would you do?
This is your chance to shine.
Right.
Explain how you calmly assessed the situation, communicated effectively with all parties involved,
Right.
and found a solution that minimized the delay
Okay.
and ensured the integrity of the medication.
So it's all about turning a negative experience
Right.
into a positive example
Exactly.
of your resourcefulness and ability to handle pressure.
And this is also where RoleCatcher's AI can be helpful.
Oh.
You can practice answering this type of question, record your response,
Okay.
and get AI-powered feedback on your delivery and content.
Oh, wow.
It's like having an interview coach in your pocket,
Hmm.
helping you refine your answers and boost your confidence.
That's a game changer.
For sure.
Knowing you have that kind of support
Yeah,
can take a lot of the pressure off.
absolutely.
And speaking of pressure,
Okay.
the next question dives into a critical aspect of pharmaceutical import-export. Compliance.
Yeah.
Prepare to answer something like, how do you ensure that all import-export activities are conducted
Okay.
in compliance with relevant regulations and industry standards?
Makes sense.
We know compliance is paramount in this industry.
Right.
It's not just about following the rules.
Yeah.
It's about understanding why they exist
Uh-huh.
and the potential consequences of non-compliance.
Yeah.
But how do we effectively convey that in an interview?
This is where you showcase your meticulous approach and attention to detail. Talk about specific systems you've implemented
Okay.
to ensure compliance.
Okay.
Have you developed detailed checklists for each stage of the import-export process? Do you conduct regular internal audits?
Those are great examples.
Yeah.
It shows them you're not just hoping to stay compliant,
Right.
you're actively taking steps to make it happen.
Exactly. You can also mention any specific software or technology you've used to manage compliance documentation and track shipments.
Okay, so we've covered some crucial questions about motivation,
Yeah.
staying up to date, handling challenges,
Right.
and ensuring compliance.
For sure.
What else should we be prepared for?
Let's shift gears for a moment
Okay.
and talk about career growth.
Right.
The interviewer might ask about your long-term aspirations.
Uh-huh.
And RoleCatcher's Career Guide provides valuable insights into potential career paths.
That's right. It outlines various stages from coordinating
To specialist to manager.
Yeah.
This information is helpful not just for answering interview questions,
Right.
but also for understanding where this role can take you in the future.
Absolutely. Think about what aspects of this career path excite you most.
Okay.
Do you see yourself specializing in a specific type of pharmaceutical product, leading a global team, or perhaps pursuing further education and certifications like the CITP or CSCP?
Those certifications can definitely make you a more competitive candidate,
For sure.
showing potential employers you're dedicated to professional development
Absolutely.
and have a deep understanding of the field.
Right. And don't be afraid to mention your career goals in the interview.
Okay.
It demonstrates ambition and a commitment to continuous learning.
This has been incredibly helpful,
Of course.
but I'm wondering if there are any curveball questions they might throw my way.
Sure.
What else should I have in my arsenal?
You're right. There are always more questions to consider.
In the next part of our deep dive,
Right.
we'll unpack even more potential questions
Awesome.
and explore how RoleCatcher's AI can help you craft the perfect answers
Yeah.
and deliver them with confidence.
Sounds good.
I'm ready for more.
Let's do it. Welcome back to our deep dive into acing that import-export manager interview in the pharmaceutical world. We're about to unpack even more potential interview questions. And remember, the key is to always tie your answers back to the unique demands and ethical considerations of this industry. I'm ready for more. We've talked about the importance of relationships in this role. What kind of questions should I expect about that?
They might ask something like, can you describe your experience managing relationships with suppliers and distributors in the pharmaceutical industry? It's a chance to highlight your communication and negotiation skills. But remember, specifics are key.
So instead of just saying I'm a people person, I should give them concrete examples of how I've built and maintained those relationships.
Exactly. Have you ever had to negotiate a better price with a supplier while ensuring they still meet the stringent quality standards required for pharmaceutical ingredients? Or perhaps you had to mediate a conflict between a distributor and a customer regarding a temperature-sensitive shipment? Those are the kinds of stories that will make your answers stand out.
I see. It's about showcasing my ability to navigate complex situations and find solutions that work for everyone involved, especially when patient safety is on the line.
Right. And remember, the pharmaceutical industry is built on trust and reliability. Highlight how you prioritize those qualities when building long-term relationships with suppliers and distributors. Consistent access to medication depends on these strong partnerships.
Now, something that always makes me nervous in interviews is talking about risk. Any advice on how to approach a question like, how do you manage risk in the import-export of pharmaceutical goods?
What's fascinating here is that they're not necessarily looking for you to have all the answers, but rather to demonstrate a thoughtful approach to risk management. The pharmaceutical supply chain is full of potential pitfalls, and they want to see that you're aware of those risks and have strategies to mitigate them.
So instead of listing every possible thing that could go wrong, I should focus on a few key areas relevant to pharmaceutical imports and exports.
Exactly. And remember to tailor your answer to the specific role you're interviewing for. For example, if the role involves managing the import of temperature-sensitive medications, you could talk about the importance of working with specialized logistics providers who have expertise in cold chain management.
And if the role involves ensuring compliance with international regulations, I could discuss my meticulous documentation process and the systems I've used to track and manage regulatory changes.
Perfect. You're demonstrating that you understand the unique challenges of this industry and have the foresight to anticipate and address potential problems.
Okay, I'm feeling more confident about tackling that one. Now let's talk about environmental responsibility. I know it's a growing concern in every industry, including pharmaceuticals.
Absolutely. And they might ask you something like, how do you ensure that all import-export activities are conducted in an environmentally responsible manner?
I'm all for sustainability, but I haven't had a ton of experience directly managing sustainability initiatives in a supply chain role. What should I focus on?
Even if you haven't led specific green initiatives, you can still showcase your awareness and willingness to learn. You could talk about exploring options for more sustainable packaging materials, optimizing shipping routes to reduce fuel consumption, or partnering with suppliers who prioritize environmental practices.
So it's about showing them that I'm thinking about these issues and willing to take action, even if I'm still developing my expertise in this area.
Exactly. And you can always frame it as an opportunity for continuous improvement. Mention that you're eager to learn more about best practices in sustainable import-export, and that you see it as an integral part of the pharmaceutical industry's responsibility to global health and well-being.
That makes sense. Now let's shift gears to teamwork. I know pharmaceutical import-export involves collaborating with a lot of different people and departments.
It certainly does. And the interviewer will want to know how you navigate those complexities. They might ask, describe your experience managing cross-functional teams in the import-export of pharmaceutical goods.
This is one I feel pretty good about. I've led cross-functional teams before, and I know how to bring people together to achieve a common goal. Even when those people have different priorities and perspectives.
Excellent. Highlight your ability to communicate effectively, delegate tasks, and resolve conflicts in a way that keeps everyone focused on the ultimate goal, delivering safe and effective medications to patients who need them. Give them a specific example of a successful project where you had to coordinate with different teams like regulatory affairs, logistics, and quality assurance to overcome a challenge and meet a tight deadline.
I'll definitely focus on showcasing my collaboration and leadership skills.
Yeah.
Now, what about social responsibility? Is that something they're likely to ask about?
It's becoming increasingly important for companies to operate ethically and consider the social impact of their actions. They might ask, how do you ensure that all import-export activities are conducted in a socially responsible manner?
This is another area where I'm still learning, but I understand why it's important, especially in an industry like pharmaceuticals.
It's about ensuring ethical sourcing of materials, fair labor practices throughout the supply chain, and a commitment to transparency and accountability.
So even if I haven't led a specific social responsibility initiative, I should still be prepared to discuss my values and how I would approach those considerations in my role as an import-export manager.
Absolutely. You could talk about the importance of working with suppliers who share your commitment to ethical practices. You could mention the need for clear communication and training to ensure everyone involved in the import-export process understands their role in upholding those standards.
I see it's about demonstrating that I'm not just focused on moving products. I'm also thinking about the people and communities impacted by those products and the processes involved in getting them to their destination.
Exactly. And remember, the pharmaceutical industry's mission is ultimately about improving health and well-being. By operating ethically and responsibly, you're contributing to that larger goal.
This has been incredibly helpful. I feel like I have a much better understanding of the kinds of questions they might ask and how to approach them in a way that showcases my skills and aligns with the values of the pharmaceutical industry, but I know we have even more to cover, right?
We do. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore how RoleCatcher's AI tools can help you refine your answers and practice your delivery to make sure you shine in that interview.
All right, we're back for the final part of our deep dive into acing, that import-export manager interview in the pharmaceutical world. I feel like we've covered so much ground already.
We have. You've gained valuable insights into the role of the industry and the types of questions you're likely to encounter now. Let's focus on taking your preparation to the next level.
I'm all ears. We've talked about RoleCatcher's AI-powered tools throughout this deep dive, and I'm especially intrigued by the AI interview coach. It sounds almost too good to be true. Can you walk me through how it actually works?
It's pretty remarkable, actually. Let's say you're practicing your answer to the question about staying up to date with regulations. You've got your notes, you've done your research, and you're ready to give it a go.
Okay, so I pull out my phone or laptop and record myself answering the question just like I would in the real interview.
Exactly. And here's where the magic happens. You upload that recording to RoleCatcher, and their AI analyzes it from multiple angles.
Wow, so it's like having a personal interview coach
Yeah.
giving me feedback on things I might not even be aware of. What kinds of things does it look for?
It assesses your delivery, analyzing things like your pace, your tone of voice, and even your body language. It also dives into the content of your answer checking if you hit the key points, provided specific examples, and structured your response in a clear and compelling way.
Wait, so it analyzes my body language too? That's incredible. I never realized how much that could impact an interview.
Well,
I might be saying all the right things, but if my body language is screaming nervous wreck, it's not going to come across well.
you're absolutely right. Nonverbal communication plays a huge role in how we're perceived, especially in a high-stakes situation like a job interview. This AI tool helps you identify any subconscious habits or nervous tics that might be undermining your message. That's so valuable. I'm starting to see how this could be a game changer. It's not just about knowing the right answers. It's about delivering them with confidence and authenticity.
Exactly. And the best part is you can practice as much as you need to until you feel completely comfortable with your answers and delivery. It's like having a safe space to experiment and refine your approach without the pressure of being in the actual interview.
So I've got the AI coach helping me polish my answers and delivery. Are there any other RoleCatcher resources I should be taking advantage of?
Absolutely. Remember their career guides. They provide a wealth of information about different career paths within import-export management, potential salary expectations, and even relevant certifications like the CITP or CSCP. These certifications demonstrate your commitment to professional development and can give you a significant edge in the job market.
Right. We talked about how those certifications can boost your credibility and show potential employers that you're serious about this field. I'm definitely going to look into those. That's a great idea. And you can even mention your interest in pursuing certifications during the interview. It demonstrates your ambition and desire to continue learning and growing in this role.
Okay, so we've got the AI interview practice, the career guides for broader context, and the potential for highlighting certifications. Anything else I should keep in mind as I head into that interview?
One final crucial thought. Remember, this interview is a two-way street. You're also evaluating them to see if this company is the right fit for you. Don't be afraid to ask questions about their company culture, their approach to professional development, and their commitment to sustainability and social responsibility.
That's such an important point. I tend to get so focused on answering their questions that I forget to ask my own. I need to make sure I'm just as curious about them as they are about me.
Exactly. Show them you're not just looking for any job, you're looking for the right opportunity to grow and contribute to a company that aligns with your values.
This has been an incredible deep dive. I feel so much more prepared and confident about tackling this interview.
You've absorbed so much valuable information and developed a strategic approach to showcasing your skills and experience. Remember, you've got this.
And listeners, remember that RoleCatcher is your ally throughout this process. From tailoring your CV to practicing your answers, their AI-powered platform can help you at every stage.
One final thought-provoking question for you to consider. What unique challenges do you think the pharmaceutical industry faces in terms of global trade, especially in the context of current events? Keep that in mind as you continue on your journey toward becoming an import-export rock star.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of pharmaceutical import-export management. We hope you found it insightful and empowering. We'll be back next week with another fascinating topic. Until then, stay curious.